What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Somerville Serpents, and I am Tyreek. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the ups and downs of breeding ball pythons. Now, this is just completely from my perspective, being new to this industry, trying to create a business out of this, and some of the positives, some of the negatives that I've seen so far in my journey in breeding ball pythons. But before we jump into that, we're gonna take a quick look over here, right behind us. I don't know if you guys can see right there. That egg is still thriving, doing well. Behind it, the other one started molding out. So little trick, if your eggs start to mold out, now especially if you see veins going through them, you can see the embryo, they're starting to get a little bit moldy. You can try dusting the egg very lightly with a foot fungus powder. Should be a pretty good method in slowing down the mold growth so that your egg doesn't mold out completely and you use the animal. That's one trick that you can try. Unfortunately, that egg, I never saw any veins in it. I did see a tiny little embryo, no vein, very tiny, like 3 or 4 little veins going around the embryo. I haven't seen anything develop so far in the egg, and like I said, it started molding out. There was one more that molded out before that. So unfortunately, first clutch ever. It looks like it's just going to be one egg, but hey, still, I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that the male got the job done and it ends up being a Coral Glow pinstripe G-stripe. But if not, it is what it is. Then in my opinion, I think it's a Partho clutch, and I think we're going to get another G-stripe female out of that, which I was initially thinking about holding back. But if you haven't stopped by the channel recently, and if you don't know, we've recently added another G-stripe girl into our collection. So now what I think I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna give this G-stripe snake away. It is gonna be for the people who support our channel. We are going to cover shipping, everything. We're gonna do a drawing or some sort of trivia or something to determine a winner. And I think that is going to be our first giveaway snake here at Somerville Serpents. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, God willing, everything goes right. It survives the rest of incubation. It hatches out. It starts eating. It's completely healthy. Then I think we're going to give that snake away to somebody that supports our channel. So like I said, stay tuned for that. Over here, as you can see, excuse the noise, I just stepped on an egg box. But as you can see over here, rat rack is all good. They're eating like beast. ASFs here that are growing up. ASFs here. The mom, the dad, the babies. Regular Norwegian rats down here. Just fine, growing. They should be delivering some babies shortly. I got them a few weeks short of being up to breeding size, but now they are fully grown. And for you, those of you that don't know, rats and ASFs grow fairly quickly. So they're up to that right size now. The mice, we ended up determining we had them for a few months. No babies, no litters whatsoever. I called up the person I got them from. I forgot to specify that I was trying to start a colony. He gave me all males. So we ended up feeding off the males. This weekend we're going to pick up a new batch of them and try to start our colony of mice. So we'll get that underway this week. And yeah, so with that being said, give me 1 second. We're going to shoot upstairs and let's talk about the ups and downs of breeding ball pythons. Okay, so first up, let's talk about some of the positives. Right off the bat, man, to say that these animals, ball pythons in specific, and all snake species, all reptiles in general, are absolutely gorgeous. But for me, ball pythons in general, they are absolute works of art. It is so amazing the things that you can do with these animals when you manipulate some of the genes. You combine certain recessives with each other, certain codom, incomplete dominant genes with each other. The way you can manipulate their colors, and patterns and everything else with these animals, it is absolutely amazing, man. Never mind the passion that I actually have for snakes, man. They've always been my favorite animal since I was a child. Obviously, I love my dogs. I have birds, the iguana, everything else. But snakes have just always been that it animal for me. Um, and it's just fascinating, man. It is just absolutely incredible the things that you can do with them. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look. So if you haven't been to the channel recently, um, we've picked up some new girls that should be ready to breed for next year. Let's start off with this girl. This is our girl Thalia. She's a pastel yellow belly leopard clown. And just look at that, man. I know the yellow, the pastel and clown, some people are not a fan and stuff, but just honestly, take a minute to look at this animal and appreciate how absolutely stunning it is. And then another girl that we're hoping to have ready for next year, our girl Medusa, another new pickup. She's a cinnamon G-stripe. And now I know they're all ball pythons, and a lot of people are like, oh, you need to vary species and stuff to keep this exciting. But every draw that I open up, I'm absolutely infatuated with these animals. Look how completely different this girl looks. Obviously, there's different genes. She's a cinnamon G-stripe. So obviously they look different. But even, okay, so quick comparison. Let's take the pastel yellow belly clown or even the G-stripe. Cinnamon G-stripe compared to pinstripe G-stripe. And look how much lighter this girl gets. Obviously, the G-stripe is known for that real strong dorsal stripe. She's going to strike something because she's in shed. She doesn't know what's going on. So we'll close her up. But look how drastically different. And matter of fact, we'll take it one step further. Look at the Coral Glow G-stripe. Completely different, man. It absolutely amazes me the living artwork that these animals are, with just one different gene in each of them. One's cinnamon, one's pinstripe, one's Coral Glow, all G-stripe. And look how drastically different each one of these animals are. If that is not living artwork to you, I don't know what is. And like I said, with the pastel yellow belly leopard clown, so that has a few genes in it. Now look at just the regular clown form and how drastically it changes, man. This is definitely living art, man. These snakes are absolutely beautiful. They're fascinating. They're amazing, smart animals, man. I don't think people give them enough credit. So that's number one. Obviously, two, which maybe people are going to get mad at this or not, but if you build your infrastructure correctly and you are trying to turn this into a video, and it should not be your main concern, you should actually have a passion for these animals. You should care for them just like you would care for your dog or your cat or anything else. But at the end of the day, man, it can be a successful business if you do this right. So if you absolutely are willing to put the time in, the hard work in, the networking, the social media aspects, and everything else that it takes to actually breed these animals, you have a high likelihood of being successful. So, okay, there's another positive, right? Now, for me personally, and this is going to be a personal experience, the bond that this has helped me grow between my children and myself, and found a passion for them that they're actually into and interested in. Every single day, they're here helping me clean, change water, change substrate, feed, everything that it is that goes into this. They're right there by my side. They're so interested in learning about the different genetics and everything else. It has just grown us closer and closer, man. And that's another amazing feeling to have something with your children that you can actually bond over. This can be a family project. something that blew all of my expectations out of the water. So absolutely fantastic. Now I can give you 100 more positives, man. But I'm not going to drag this video on. And then I'm going to give you the three main negatives, I would say. So for that, we're going to take a look at a pairing that we got going on down here. Now, if you see, this is our girl Rhea. She's a Pastavi hypo, 66% het clown, 50% het DG. We have her in there. And if I open this up a little bit more to the back, there's our boy Hermes. He's a fire triple hat hypo DG clown. So right now, obviously they're not locked. I just put them in there, so I wasn't expecting that. But one of the negatives, man, buying animals with a possible het or 66% het, breeding them and finding out they don't prove out. All of the time and money and effort and stuff like that that goes into a project for you to, even if they proved out het and you don't hit the odds or anything else, there's nothing guaranteed in this, man. And that, for me, that's one of the fun parts about it. Exciting part is that it's literally like Forrest Gump said, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That is one of the most exciting things for me. Obviously, if things don't prove out, it's disappointing. Then you always have next year, right? You can move on, try again, try a different pairing for the year after. So that's one. One is that, you know, they have smaller clutches compared to other snakes. About 6 eggs is the average. Sometimes you get girls that lay 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 eggs, but about 6 eggs is the average, and that's a slim odds game that you're playing there. Two, like I said, time. This is a full-time job, and this is not my full-time job. I work another full-time job. I get up every morning at 2:30 in the morning to drive into the city, to get parking, stuff like that, hang out in my car, maybe nap for an hour or two, to get up at 7 o'clock, go into work, work all day, come home, have to pick up my kids from daycare, cook, clean around the house, everything else, and still devote at least minimum an hour or two every single night, whether it's cleaning, feeding, creating videos, which, and I apologize, I've been slacking on the video a little bit lately. We did just have a death in the family, so we've been dealing with some of that, trying to make funeral arrangements and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to give you that as a cop-out. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, apologize. I'm going to try to get back on schedule. But it's another full-time job. There's nothing short of it, especially if you want to give your animals the best care, the best treatment, have them live the best life that they can. It's nothing short of at the very minimum, depending on how many animals you have, a part-time job. But for where we're trying to go and for what we're trying to build, it's nothing less than a full-time job. And then three, which there's something that you can do about this, but the cost of food, especially if you live in a bigger city or a higher price city, rats, mice, they are not cheap. I believe right now it's like $354 for a small rat around where I live. Now there's things that you can combat that. You can start, obviously, if you have a big enough collection, breeding your own rats and mice and stuff like we do here. But we just started breeding. So every week I'm still spending that money out buying feeders for these rats and stuff. That is another huge negative, which can be cut. Your cost can be cut, like I said. This is not a cheap investment. I think we have, what, 14, 15, 16, 17, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 22, only 22 animals. We got one that's going to be hatching out in the incubator, plus whatever clutches drop this year. So from 22 animals right now, with some coming in, I can't wait for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to do an update video, guys. We are investing kind of heavily into the HypoPod project. And then hopefully with this breeding, with the possible het clown DG to the triple het, we can make some hets for our hypo DG clown project. We have the DG het hypo male, the hypo het DG female. They're gonna need some years to grow anyway, so this will be perfect to add into that. But again, price wise, man, it is not cheap for the racks, for everything else. I did a video a while back. You can go look it up. This is the cost or what we've spent so far, and I believe we were at 15,000. That was a few snakes ago, a few racks ago, a few thermostats ago, months and months of feeding bills ago. So we're well into probably the 20K range now, and it's not cheap, but it is so worth it for the naming, the reasons that I named, all the positives, for what it's helped do for me and my family personally, and the bond between my children and I. It has been well worth it. I would invest 20K any day to be able to have that bond with them. So yeah, that being said, just real quick, wanted to give you guys some pros and cons. And I appreciate you guys watching. You guys know what to do. And yeah, that's it. Peace, love, and blessings from my family to yours. Have a great night.